Lovely viewers, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that has stirred a lot of emotions across fan communities worldwide. It's about two names we followed closely, two individuals whose paths were once intertwined but now stand on very different journeys. Jung Ki and Min-Kyo. As always, settle in with me because this one is filled with twists, observations, and moments that will make you pause and reflect. The spotlight right now is on Jung Ki, who just marked his birthday. But instead of the grand celebrations, surprises, and happy gatherings we're used to seeing from stars of his caliber, fans were left heartbroken when photos surfaced of him spending his special day quietly and completely alone. No lavish dinners, no star-studded parties, no hint of cheer. Just a man, a table, and the weight of memories that seemed to speak louder than any words. For a star who once had the world at his feet and shared some of the brightest moments of his life with someone equally adored, the sight was enough to spark endless conversations online. Now, let's contrast that with the scene unfolding almost simultaneously on the other side of this story. Min-Kyo, fondly called by her fans Min-Kyo when paired with Lee Min-ho, was seen celebrating in absolute style. Glittering lights, a luxurious setting, friends and loved ones gathered, and of course, her husband Lee Min-ho right by her side. Pictures and short clips of the party quickly went viral, showing the actress radiant in designer attire, cutting a grand cake, and smiling from ear to ear as cheers filled the air. Fans could almost feel the warmth of her joy, her comfort in the life she has now embraced, and the undeniable chemistry she shares with Min-ho. It didn't take long for the comparisons to surface. Some fans voiced admiration for how Min-Kyo has managed to move on and thrive, while others couldn't hide their sadness at the image of Jung Ki, seemingly lost in solitude on a day meant for celebration. Social media became a battlefield of emotions. Some defended Jung Ki, saying solitude doesn't always mean sadness, that maybe he wanted peace and quiet, away from the constant glare of the public eye. Others, however, saw it as a silent message. A lonely heart, still healing, perhaps even still longing. But here's where it gets truly interactive for you, my lovely viewers. What do you think was going through Jung Ki's mind? Was it a conscious choice to spend the day alone, a form of self-reflection? Or was it simply that he no longer has that strong circle around him to lift him up in moments like this? And then, do you think Min-Kyo's glamorous celebration was just about joy and moving on? Or was it, in a way, an indirect message? Showing the world that she's in a new chapter, one she's not afraid to live out loud? Adding more spice to the mix, a few eagle-eyed fans claimed that Jung Ki's choice of attire during his quiet birthday meal carried subtle meaning. He wore muted colors, almost somber in tone, far from the lively shades that usually dominate birthday pictures. Some speculated it reflected his inner mood, others argued it was simply his preference. But in the world of celebrities, where nothing goes unnoticed, even a shirt color can spark endless debates. Meanwhile, Min-Kyo's celebration had its own talking points. Fans couldn't stop gushing over the way Lee Min-ho looked at her during the event. There were moments caught on camera where he leaned in close, whispering into her ear as she laughed, or when he held her hand as she moved through the crowd. For their supporters, this was proof of a fairy tale love story unfolding before their very eyes. But for fans of Jung Ki, it was bittersweet, almost like salt on an open wound, watching his former love revel in happiness while he stood on the other side of the spectrum. The entertainment industry thrives on these juxtapositions, and this moment was no different. News outlets, bloggers, and fan pages were quick to highlight the irony of it all. Lonely birthday versus celebration in style. And as much as we, as fans, try to respect the privacy of these stars, the contrast was too glaring not to talk about. Lovely viewers, here's where I want to hear from you directly. Do you think it's fair to compare the two at all? Should Jung Ki's quiet birthday be interpreted as sadness? Or do we need to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's simply choosing a different path now? And should Min-Kyo's grand celebration be celebrated wholeheartedly without dragging her past into it? After all, isn't growth about moving forward, no matter how different the paths may look? This story is more than just about two celebrities. It reflects something very human. Some of us, at one point in our lives, have celebrated milestones in complete solitude, while others have embraced them with the world cheering beside us. Neither is inherently right or wrong, it's about where the heart is, about what feels right at that moment. Maybe Jung Ki needed the silence, maybe Kyo needed the glitter. Both are valid. But undeniably, fans can't stop speculating what's truly happening beneath the surface. Could Jung Ki's solitude be a reminder of how much he once shared with Kyo? Could Min-Kyo's joy be her way of cementing her new life story with Min-Ho? These are questions that, perhaps, only they can truly answer. But as long as they remain in the public eye, fans will always connect the dots, even when the dots are miles apart. So, lovely viewers, let's open up the conversation here. If you were in Jung Ki's shoes, would you prefer the quiet solitude, or would you surround yourself with friends to drown out any lingering emptiness? And if you were in Min-Kyo's shoes, would you celebrate loudly and proudly, or keep it simple to avoid fueling comparisons? Your thoughts are the heartbeat of this channel, and I can't wait to read them. What remains clear is that both Song Jung Ki and Song Kyo continue to live under the magnifying glass of fame. Every choice, every smile, every silence is dissected and discussed. And while one star chose a lonely table, the other danced beneath bright lights, reminding us once again that even after shared histories, life's journeys can diverge into drastically different paths. That's only the beginning of the deeper conversation. Both Song Jung Ki and Song Kyo are more than just stars. They are reflections of different ways people cope with life, love, and the constant passage of time. Now imagine being Song Jung Ki, sitting alone on your birthday. The world expects smiles, balloons, cakes, and friends, but instead there is only quiet. Some might call it lonely, others might call it peaceful. Maybe he wanted that solitude to process the whirlwind of events in his life. But the thing about birthdays, especially for public figures, is that they are never just personal. They become communal. Fans feel they have a right to see their idols enjoy, to celebrate with them, to feel included in their happiness. When Jung Ki chose silence, many fans felt that silence too, almost as if they were sitting at that empty table beside him, staring into the same void. On the flip side, Song Kyo's party carried a very different energy. Laughter echoed through the room, the sound of glasses clinking, music humming in the background, and friends capturing every moment on their phones. Her celebration wasn't just about her. It was about community, about being surrounded by those who love and uplift her. For some fans, watching her glow in Min-Ho's presence was reassuring. They saw it as proof that love can be found again, even after heartbreak. For others, though, it raised questions. Was this joy partly a performance, a message to the world that she has moved on, or was it purely genuine? But here's an angle that deserves attention, lovely viewers. Birthdays often act as emotional checkpoints. They force us to look back and measure where we are compared to where we've been. Could it be that Jung Ki, in his solitude, was silently revisiting the chapters of his past, including those intertwined with Kyo? Could it be that Kyo, in her vibrant celebration, was celebrating not just her life, but the fact that she's rewritten her story with Min-Ho by her side? The truth is, fans always draw connections, even when none are intended. When Jung Ki's photos surfaced, many couldn't resist placing them side by side with the dazzling images of Min-Kyo's party. The contrast was too powerful to ignore. One a picture of isolation, the other a portrait of abundance. And this raises a question for all of us here. Do we, as fans, unintentionally put pressure on these stars by demanding constant joy, constant connection, constant proof that they're okay? Perhaps Jung Ki's quiet birthday was his way of resisting that expectation, reclaiming his right to process life on his own terms. At the same time, it's impossible not to admire the glow of Song Kyo. In the clips, she looked genuinely happy, surrounded by warmth and care, while Min-Ho stayed close, almost protective, as though ensuring she felt loved in every single moment. To their supporters, this was symbolic. A woman once known for her quiet, almost melancholic elegance now embracing a new chapter full of energy and sparkle. Isn't that what so many of us hope for? To rise again, to find laughter after tears, to dance again after heartbreak. Lovely viewers, let's interact right here. If you had to choose, which moment resonates more with you? Jung Ki's solitude that feels introspective, or Kyo's joy that feels contagious? Do you see yourself reflected in one more than the other? Because let's face it, some of us heal in silence, and others heal in song and laughter. Neither is wrong. Both are human. The continuation of this story doesn't just stop at fans talking about the contrast. Entertainment reporters began digging deeper, trying to decode what wasn't said. Some suggested that Jung Ki's solitude was his way of sending a message, not of longing but of detachment, a way of saying, "I don't need the noise anymore." Others speculated the opposite, painting it as a silent cry for support, a sign that he is still grappling with the weight of everything he's lost and everything he has yet to find. Meanwhile, Min-Kyo's party became a trending topic in fashion blogs. Her outfit, her smile, her energy, all analyzed down to the smallest detail. And right there beside her, Lee Min-ho stole attention too. His eyes never strayed far from her. His gestures were filled with tenderness, almost as though he knew the world would be watching and he wanted to make one thing clear. She is cherished. This stark parallel, loneliness on one side and love on the other, is what makes this story resonate so deeply. Because it forces us to think about our own lives, our own birthdays, our own milestones. How often have we felt alone when the world expected us to be happy? How often have we forced a smile in celebration because that's what others wanted to see? Lovely viewers, let's keep this conversation alive. If you were Jung Ki, would you let fans into your solitude or would you shield it, knowing they might interpret it however they want? And if you were Kyo, would you tone down your celebration out of respect for comparisons, or would you live fully in your joy, regardless of how it might look next to someone else's silence? The story of this lonely birthday versus celebration in style is not just about two stars. It's about the choices we all make when faced with life's milestones. Some of us retreat, some of us embrace, some of us do both at different times. And maybe that's the point. There is no one right way to live, no one script that fits all. When I said life will always give us moments of solitude and moments of celebration, I wasn't only talking about Song Jung Ki and Song Kyo. I was talking about all of us. Their stories, though wrapped in the glamour of fame, are mirrors reflecting the quiet battles and bright victories we face in our own lives. And it's this relatability that keeps us so invested, keeps us talking, keeps us connecting the dots between their choices and our own emotions. Now let's imagine what happens after the lights fade. When Kyo's party was over and the last guest said goodbye, she probably sat with Min-ho in the stillness of the night. Did she whisper about how much she enjoyed the celebration? Did she thank him for making her feel loved and adored? Did she, perhaps even for just a moment, think about how far she's come, from heartbreak to healing, from walking alone to walking hand in hand with someone who showers her with affection? That quiet reflection after the noise of a party is often the truest part of the celebration. It's not just about the champagne and confetti. It's about the realization that she has crafted a new life, and she's proud of it. Meanwhile, when Jung Ki pushed aside that birthday plate, when the candle smoke faded into the air, what thoughts filled the silence of his room? Was it regret, longing, or peace? Did he replay old birthdays in his mind, remembering laughter, remembering love, remembering when things were different? Or did he simply close his eyes, relieved that the day was finally over, free from the weight of expectation? Sometimes solitude is the only space where you can hear your own heart beating, where you can confront truths you can't face in a crowd. And maybe that's what Jung Ki needed most. Not people around him, but a moment with himself. Lovely viewers, here's where it becomes interactive again. If you were in that position, which moment would stay with you more strongly? The crowded room filled with noise, or the silent one filled with memory? Would you rather remember laughter that echoes or silence that teaches? Because both leave imprints on us, both shape who we are. The fan response to these two very different birthdays is also worth noting. Some fans flooded Jung Ki's social media with heartfelt messages, promising him that he wasn't alone, that they were his family now. They left thousands of comments calling him strong, resilient, and reminding him that solitude doesn't equal loneliness. Others, however, confessed they felt sad, like watching their favorite star quietly suffer. The power of fandom is truly astonishing. It can turn a solitary moment into a global conversation, and in some ways, Fans became the guests at Jung Ki's invisible party, surrounding him with words instead of presents. On the other hand, Kyo's fans celebrated loudly. Hashtags trended, her pictures filled timelines, and messages of admiration poured in. Many said they were inspired by her glow, that she showed them it's possible to rise from pain and build a brighter tomorrow. And of course, the Min-Kyo supporters, those who ship Min-Ho and Kyo, were the loudest, calling the party a testament to true love and second chances. The party wasn't just a party for them. It was proof, evidence that love conquers all. But here's where the contrast grows even sharper. Lovely viewers. One birthday was turned into a digital vigil of support, while the other became a digital festival of joy. And yet, both brought fans together, reminding us why we follow these stars in the first place. Not just for their movies, dramas, or public appearances, but because in their lives we see fragments of our own. And so I ask you again, whose story do you connect with more at this moment? Do you find strength in Jung Ki's Solitude, proof that sometimes it's okay to step back, to sit with yourself, to heal quietly? Or do you find inspiration in Kyo's celebration, proof that you can embrace life again, that joy isn't lost forever, that love can return in full color? Lovely viewers, these two parallel birthdays also remind us of an important truth. Life doesn't move at the same pace for everyone. Some heal quickly and move into a new chapter, while others linger in the process, taking slower, quieter steps. And that's okay. There's no stopwatch on healing, no deadline on finding joy again. What matters is that the journey is real, authentic to the heart of the person walking it. The story doesn't end here though, because birthdays are just markers. What comes next for both stars is what really keeps fans curious. Will Jung Ki step out more confidently after this quiet moment, perhaps surprising us with a new project or even opening his heart again? Will Kyo continue to celebrate loudly, embracing the love she's found with Min-Ho and showing the world that she's no longer afraid to be seen in happiness? Lovely viewers, the beauty of following these stars is that their stories unfold in real time, with all their unpredictability. Today it's a lonely table and a sparkling party. Tomorrow, who knows? Life always has a way of surprising us. And in their journeys, we often see reflections of our own. So, as we continue this conversation, I leave you with this thought. Maybe both Jung Ki and Kyo gave us a gift on these birthdays. One showed us the courage it takes to sit with silence, and the other showed us the courage it takes to embrace joy without apology. And maybe, just maybe, we need both lessons in our lives.